What's up, everyone? Today on Open Mat Podcast, the very funny, I like to call the queen of BJJ Reels of Instagram. Yeah, I said it. Elim. How are you? You like that? That was a good
Yeah,
intro.
I'm okay with that. What's up? Uh, I don't know how
Oh,
I feel
nothing.
about. Oh, I find myself to be more of kind of like the Jiu Jitsu shit poster. So I don't know
Oh,
how I feel about you making this like I'm actually doing something in the Jiu Jitsu meta.
okay. So take two. The queen of shit poster of Instagram is here today.
Yo, what's up?
There we go.
There we go.
Mm. So before we start, I just want to give a special shout out to X Marshall for providing us both with such cool swag, very good and amazing jiu-jitsu fight wear and also streetwear as well. And also another special shout out to Higher Health's Canada and USA for making amazing products right here in Canada and the USA and for keeping Marco very healthy. Thank you, Higher Healths, for that as well. So, Elim, I must ask you, this whole jiu-jitsu stuff, how did you start?
People are gonna hate on this, but I actually found Jiu Jitsu through Taekwondo. So like a lot of people
How's
in
that?
Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, I don't know. I feel like with Taekwondo and karate, it's becoming kind of like a McDojo sport lately. So like people in
Okay,
like
yeah.
Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu kind of like shit on the other sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, I was doing
Exactly, yeah.
Taekwondo. Yeah, exactly. I was doing Taekwondo pretty recreationally, like as a sport, just to get myself active because I was not an athletic kid at all. I was a fat kid, always last to be picked, always at the end of the line, always last to finish the run. And I needed something because like I didn't feel great about myself. I wanted to be more active. I wanted to be fit, and I wanted to feel
Mhm.
when I first started, I didn't start for the purest of reasons. Like I had a lot of body image issues. So part of me
Mhm.
going into martial arts and trying to be active was because I was afraid of being fat. Like I had anxiety about
Okay.
gaining weight. This was in my teenage years, so I feel like maybe a
Mhm.
lot of teenage girls might relate to this. The ones that like might have not found their sport yet, like when you feel like
Yeah.
so disempowered and like how you look in your body, it's just it gets heavy, and then you feel like you need something. And for me that was martial arts, just the general realm of martial arts. I started
Yeah.
with Taekwondo because interestingly I was doing classical music. I did classical voice at this music school in my city,
Nice.
and yeah, I was a fucking nerd, bro. I there was this
Aren't we all?
yeah, I feel like jujitsu is made up of a lot of nerds. Like,
Hybrid nerds. A lot of
yeah,
nerds.
yeah,
Too
yeah.
many nerds now.
A lot of tech bros too in this sport. But yeah, a lot of nerds. I probably would have been
Yeah.
one of them because right beside my music school was a martial arts school. It was Taekwondo mostly, but they offered jujitsu on the side. So I started doing jujitsu. I was doing their kickboxing classes as well. And then the head instructor was like, "Hey, just try jujitsu. I think you might like it." I think he was a purple belt at the time, but he was a great instructor. I loved his classes. And then that's when the seed was kind of planted. I didn't actually enjoy jujitsu that much when I first started in my teen years. There were not a lot of women at the time. Like it, cause so it would have been kind of awkward. It was just me, like a teenage girl in a room of like 30-year-old sweaty dudes. And it
Dudes.
was,
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much.
it didn't
Super
have that
normal.
appeal to me yet. And then
Yeah.
there were a couple more women that joined, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can do this. I guess I can stick around. And then, and then I think more and more effort, when I started actually being consistent, that's when I really fell in love with the sport.
Nice. I think like for me, like actually when you said Taekwondo,
Hmm.
a light like sparked in my head because when I was much younger, my cousin brought me to his taekwondo class. And when I walked in the gym and I smelled it, I'm like, my God, I want to be here. Like, and I just see people like fighting and giving kicks. I'm like, oh my God, so cool. And I never did it. So it was like somewhere in the back of my mind that I always wanted to learn a martial art. And since then, taekwondo, I always wanted to do it, but I never done it. And then years later, I went into the path of jujitsu, this crazy, sweaty, smelly pain sport that people pay money for. I just don't get it. Why would you pay all this money for it?
I've never met a single normal person in the jujitsu sphere. Like
No,
we're all a little bit mentally, there's something off about everyone in this sport, you know?
there there's something wrong with everyone in jiu-jitsu. I think, like, some people,
Yeah,
like, you'll see the quiet folks that don't talk, but maybe deep down inside they're that amazing killer, like the best ones on the mat. And then,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
those
yeah.
more spontaneous people like myself, I'm always talking, I'm always like, even when I'm getting smashed, I'm smiling. Like, someone's like
Yeah.
mounting me, putting all the pressure on my throat, I'm like, I love this. And, like, I'm always trying to make people laugh. But it's a special kind of breed of people to really join jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, I would say.
th-
I would say so.
through this whole jiu-jitsu, have you, like, ever have that urge to do, like, competitions or anything like that?
Yeah, I did a lot of competitions like at blue belt. But I think after my first tournament as a white belt, that's when I really started like wanting to double down on my training and like coming a lot more consistently. It was after doing one competition and I realized it was almost like gambling for me. I was like, what if I just do
Oh
another
wow.
competition and I might win that one? And then I'll just like keep trying to increase my player stats by training more, gaining more knowledge, and conditioning more. Maybe this will increase my chances of winning, like it was a game. And it is kind of like a game.
Yeah, it's like a fun addiction, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how the addiction starts.
I have
And
yet to
then
do a competition.
what? What rank are
I
you right
scout
now?
Scout's honor. Sorry,
What rank are you right now?
rank. Right now, I am rankless. I am the white belt warrior. I call myself. I do have I actually, as I was chatting with you today, I do have an exam coming next month for blue belt in nogi, and this is freaking me out because I'm 38 years old, and the last exam I ever did in my life was like probably 15 or 16 years ago. So the word exam is like, what? Like, slam the brakes, freaking out a little bit. But I'll get over it. I'm sure it'll be better.
No, no, you're
But
gonna do great. Yeah, I think you know
I'm
your
sure.
stuff, right? How long have you been training?
I've been training. It's gonna be 2 years now with COVID on and off there, but it's about 2 years.
You're
But
fine.
I told myself, okay, I'm fine. I'm gonna wing it. But I told myself, okay, this is the year. I just turned 38. I have to start at least one competition, and I'm gonna
Yes.
do it this year, like in August. And you were just saying how, like, that competition, maybe that addiction. I wonder how I would feel after I do that first competition. I For sure I'll probably lose, but I don't know. It's like me being a dad and all. Like, oh, I don't have time. There's always that excuse everyone has. Like, you don't have time to train. You don't have time. All this stuff, and I don't know. I think I'll go okay. I think. Do you remember your first competition? Like, how it went?
I do. It was a local one. It was very chill. Like they called it Jiu Jitsu Ohana. So like the refs, they had like
Yeah.
flowers. They were wearing a flower necklace. They had like flowered shirts. It was a very chill fun. I'm glad that that was the first tournament I decided to do. It was also pretty well run. Um, but no, I just oh yeah, that those nerves right before you step on the mat, those are like insane. Like even after competing for a few years, like I would still feel like throwing up right before like stepping onto that competition mat because like I have such bad anxiety when it comes to tournaments.
Hmm.
But yeah, honestly, nothing really interesting happened my first tournament. Like it was like closed guard by my opponent for like
Yep.
5 minutes, and it was like I lost by advantage. And then I was like, that's when the addiction happened. I was like, what if I do another one, I get another match, and like
Yeah.
more things happen, right? I want to do another one now to see like what could actually happen and if there's gonna be any like cool jujitsu that comes out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what I'm hoping for. It's like, if I
Hmm.
do my first competition, I want to lose, expecting maybe miraculously I could win, but I want to
You
lose,
can,
and I
because
wanted to.
I was just
I could.
you could. I was just gonna say like if you're on the tail end of white belt of your belt rank, like you should be going in there. Like you at least get in one tournament before you become a blue belt, and it's a different level of a jujitsu that you're going to be going up against.
Oh, for sure. But what goes through my mind is like, even if I'm white belt or blue belt, the thing that like I always say to myself, I'm always rolling with like brown belts, purple
Hmm.
belts, guys
Hmm.
heavier than me,
Okay.
and even like girls that are purple belts and they're super fast, super technical. Like what the hell? Like obviously I'm losing a lot, but it's always like if I'm rolling with such high level, like there's no way I should freak out for like a white belt or a blue belt tournament. Like what? I'm rolling with like monsters, like like
Yeah.
these massive, strong people. like
Yeah.
I think I overthink things. Am I overthinking it? I think I am.
I think
I
you
think I
are. So like, a lot of the what I've learned to do in the last few years is to just stop thinking, just do. Like I didn't put too much thought
just to
into
yeah.
signing up for my first tournament. It was kind of like a group activity thing. It was going to be a team activity. It's like we're all going to go compete. We're all going to get out there. Whatever happens, happens. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm just glad I was invited. So I kind of signed myself up for that, and I was like, oh, kind of like it. Like, don't think, just do is like the mantra that I've had to learn over the years. Especially like even with creating content, I've had to learn don't think, just do because or else I'm gonna have so much anxiety to say, oh, should I post this? Or like what are people gonna think? People are gonna think I'm so cringe, whatever. But who gives a fuck at the end of the day? It's really just you that's in your head.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a conversation I had with my wife today because I was
Yeah.
telling her like 2 weeks ago, like, yeah, man, I got invited to this exam, and today was a bad day. I'm like, oh, I'm going home. I don't know anything, exams, this and that. I was like, swearing, what the fuck's gonna go on? I'm just gonna quit jujitsu. And she's like, just do you. Like, you have the experience. You've been doing this for 2 years. What is it? She's like, worst case scenario, what does it even matter, this blue belt or not, if you get it? Like, does it make
Right.
you any better? And she's like,
Right.
I'm like, wow, okay, Miss Wise over there with your smart ass. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference, but it's something I want. Like we all want that belt because it's like an accomplishment. That's what it is.
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
see it as I'm better than you. I'm saying, holy shit, I'm here long enough. I'm getting the experience, the knowledge to have, and that's what the blue belt means to me. Like
Yes.
especially in Nogi, and Nogi, we had no system, and the system just started, and I'm
Hmm.
one of the first ones to be invited. So I'm like, holy shit, that's great.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
That's
think
really
I'm,
awesome.
I think I'm
I
overthinking
like
this
what your
too
wife
much.
has been telling you. She has quite a bit of insight for someone who isn't in the sport. I think you mentioned that she's just
Yeah,
watching you. She's just supporting you.
she's fantastic. She's great, honey.
I
If you're
love
hearing,
that.
I love you very much.
I
But
love that for you guys.
I I actually got her into something, a sport. I know
Hmm.
jujitsu wasn't for her, and I
Hmm.
can understand that.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
got her into what I get into. We're doing together as a couple every Friday,
Hmm.
strength training, like a boot camp kind of thing. And I find that's awesome because it helps me with my jiu-jitsu game. It gives me that
Oh,
extra like
yeah. Win-win.
let's say when you're about to tap your full mount, I can't push up, I can't bridge. I don't have
Uh,
them. Now it's like, yeah, I could bridge. I have that extra bridge in me now because I'm doing my strength training. It's like, oh my god,
ah.
I find it so good to like just not like train more than just jujitsu. I find like even like strength
Exactly. Yeah,
training
yeah,
or
yeah.
like it adds so much more to your game.
I
It
love
really does. Yeah, she's great. Honey, I love you again if you're listening. Yeah, she heard
that.
me. She heard me. She's out with my son right now, so she's good. She's cool.
Oh, that's cute.
And now, Elim, this I have to say, this whole Instagram. Now, last time I
Mm.
spoke to you, it wasn't that long ago, probably a little over a month ago. You had like
Yeah.
80,000 followers. Now you have
Yeah.
over 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
Holy shitballs, that's amazing. And it makes sense because your shit is freaking hilarious. My personal favorite, and I won't ruin the joke too much because if I hate when people explain jokes, but my
Mm.
favorite one of my favorites is when there's someone doing a oh my god, now I'm losing my track. See, I ruined the joke. I already because I forgot. It's when he's doing not a shrimp. What is it? God damn it, Marco. He's doing he's planking. He's planking, and he's like, "Tell my mom she gave birth to a demon."
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
voiceover,
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
so hilarious. I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
yes. And another one he did was I thought you were about to do a serious reel, like something like not no joke at all. I'm like, oh wow, you're getting
Uh-huh.
really personal. You're talking about these flowers, and you went like
Mm.
10 or 15 seconds deep about talking how they bloom for only once a week, and they just like change character and like about your mother and all. Like, oh
It was a
my
mom joke.
god,
I
it
was
was
gonna be
guys, it
so
was a mom joke.
insightful. It was a mom joke. But
What?
yeah,
How did
I
you?
think. Sorry.
I was gonna say, how did you start like this like idea of Instagram? Like, what made you like inspired you to start Instagram,
Well,
this
actually,
account?
I so during the pandemic, TikTok was blowing up, and I was actually one of those
Yeah.
people who got onto the train. Like, I got addicted to like scrolling through that content, and for a while, I was
Yeah.
actually creating a little bit of like TikToks as well, just like jumping onto trends. And it never like
Mm-hmm.
really took off or anything. I had no focus niche. There was no jujitsu to it at all, even though like I did still really love the sport. But then, like, I at Blue Belt, something clicked where it's like, what if I actually do want to become like a full-time athlete or like be more invested into something I just
Mm-hmm.
call a hobby right now? Now, to be a full-time athlete in jiu-jitsu, you have to be, first of all, really good at the sport, but also you have to be good at marketing yourself. So
Yes.
I did this in preparation in case I wanted to begin be taking jujitsu more seriously. But also,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to be silly. I wanted to showcase that, like, a woman in jujitsu, like, we're just regular people. We find the same funny things in jujitsu and certain nuances that, like, you guys kind of see as well. I think that it maybe also if I did end up having a reach, I could inspire more women to just try it out.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've had like a cute couple messages where like girls who didn't do any art at all have like messaged me and told me like, hey, I started jujitsu because of you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing! I actually did something.
It does feel good. I love
Yeah.
when people ask me questions about jujitsu too. But
Hmm.
you were saying about like full-time athlete, like where do you see
Hmm.
yourself with jiu-jitsu? Do you see yourself more as a practitioner? You're saying you're taking it more seriously, like do you see jiu-jitsu becoming something more than just like a side hobby? Is that something you want to do like full-time? Is that like one of your dreams, I would guess?
To be honest, I go back and forth on this, and I don't think there's a huge problem with going back and forth between being like a full-time athlete and also just being a hobbyist practitioner. Right now, I'm just a hobbyist practitioner. I'm just a girl that likes to shit post and about jujitsu and take classes. That's where I am right now.
That's it's the best spot to be, I think, like not
Yeah.
knowing what you want to do, but you love doing what you want to do. Like, what do I do? I love making BJJ memes. I love
Hmm.
podcasting. It's something new to
Hmm.
me, and I'm a hobbyist. I'm not an athlete. Nowhere. Even if I am good at jiu-jitsu, I'm nowhere near an athlete. I don't do any competitions. I'm a dad. Like, jiu-jitsu is part of my life. It's not my life, and I'm okay with
Hmm.
that.
Yeah,
And there's
that's
so many people that used to
absolutely
say,
okay.
you hear all these people saying that, oh, I should have started jujitsu years ago. I'm like, you're starting jujitsu right now. Who cares? Like when you
Yeah.
started, like I hear that all the time in jujitsu. I should have, if I would have started 5, 10 years ago, I would have been so much better. I'm like, well, you're here now, so who cares?
And
I've
then
been
there's
doing it for
that
two
Joe
years.
Rogan bit where he's like, yeah, but you didn't start years ago, but you are now, so shut the fuck
Exactly,
up.
exactly. Shut the
I
fuck
love
up
that. I also
and
wish I
just
started
train.
years ago, but you know what? It is what
Likewise.
it is. I can always. I'm here now, and like in the grand scheme, there are people in their like their 30s and 40s who are telling me, "Oh, you're so lucky to have started like training in your 20s," and I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, that does make me feel a little bit better, but I wish I started
There you
when I
go.
was a fetus in the womb before I was conceived."
Swimming, choking other eggs. But how many times? Well, actually, how many times do you train now, like per week?
Right. Oh, a few months ago, it would have been every day, sometimes like two, three-ish times a day.
Jesus.
Right now, yeah, but right
Wow.
now I'm just like 3 times a week, single
I'm gonna be
classes.
there soon. Three
Yeah,
times a week is like huge for me, but I'm not there yet
really?
because
Okay.
there's always something. Like my wife had a change in her work, so for this month I'll probably have like twice a week. So like boot camp once and jujitsu
Hmm.
once. But eventually I'm gonna have 2 times no gi and one boot camp with her. So that's 3 times training and hopefully an open mat in between. for a full-time dad job and all that stuff, I'm pretty impressed because I used to always tell
I think
myself
that that is
if
impressive.
someone can go at least one time, because that's the same speech I gave my wife. I'm like, Amanda, you can go one time in the week because I'm gonna come with you. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to go. And she fucking almost died. She almost gave up in her second class. It's so hard. I'm like, I don't care that it's hard. Once a week is more than enough. It's better than a person, on the couch just watching Netflix all day and not doing anything with their life, kind of thing. I'm like, I can do
That's
it.
so
I had a
true.
broken back. Have you
Yeah,
ever had? Have you ever had any like severe injury that stopped you from training or like made you continue training harder?
to be honest, I'm so lucky when I say no. I haven't had a serious injury before.
Well,
I
this is
think
perfect.
I don't know if you guys know, but there's a group on Facebook called Women's Grappling Network where there's a bunch
Okay.
of us women practitioners. We talk about all things jujitsu and being a woman in jujitsu. I just
Mm-hmm.
found like a really old post where someone asked, "Where do you see yourself in jujitsu in 5 years?" And this was
Mm-hmm.
years ago. I commented probably like four-ish, 5 years ago, and the comment
Mm-hmm.
was a small buildup of small debilitating injuries and maybe a purple belt. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, like my
Boom.
fingers are fucked up, but I have my purple belt. So I
Damn
feel
right.
like, yeah, damn right I do. I think I won. Yeah, I think my back has had some issues. It just tweaks here and there, and then sometimes there's shooting pain. I should probably get checked out. That for like 2 seconds, that makes me question if I am dying or not, and then it goes away, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's okay.
I
And
can't move
then
my arm.
yeah, hips and
What?
knees. I feel like I got that from like wear and tear from like running. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to stop running. I think it's gotten better, but you know what? I think that's about it. Yeah.
Damn. Damn. I'm jealous a little
But
bit.
also, I
Well,
started like in my late teens, right? When you have like the healing factors of like Wolverine. So maybe that's
yeah,
why I had like small injuries and like they just
mhm.
healed. Maybe
You
that's
break
what
a
happened.
finger. Yeah. You break a finger, it
Yeah.
heals like in 45 seconds, whereas now it takes like 4 weeks kind of thing.
Yeah, I
But
have
I
to
find
be
it
more
fun.
careful now.
Yeah, we all do because I find it fun because when I started jiu-jitsu, the whole story for me was I hurt my back really bad. And I thought I was being paralyzed for the rest of my life because I stopped training altogether.
Right.
So I started boxing. Boxing was fun, but when I saw those crazy, sweaty, crazy murderers in the back of the gym, I'm like, I need to try that. That looks intense. I want to be able to do that one day. But since I transitioned over to jiu-jitsu, my back has never been stronger. And no one believes me. I'm like, yeah, everyone still thinks, Marco, your back, be careful. I'm like, my back? I just picked up a guy and threw him to the floor. What? My back is strong, people. Worry about my shoulders and my freaking pinky I just landed on yesterday. Like, these are
Yeah.
like the injuries I have are new types of injuries.
Mm.
And they're like the weirdest ones sometimes. Sometimes I even injure myself off the maps. Like I hurt my pinky toe I cut my pinky toe so many times in my house, slicing it on the corner of a kitchen armoire thingy 2 times. And it's all from jiu-jitsu. So these
Hmm.
are the problems I'm dealing with. But like jiu-jitsu has made me so much stronger, regardless that we're having all these pains, these fantastic pains and infections. We're getting, of course, infections. Oh, speaking of, have you ever gotten
Oh,
any type of infection? You first.
I
I
have.
have a
I have. I think I got ringworm twice before. And I think my last
ta-da!
case of ringworm was like 2 weeks ago. Like, how it freaked me out because it looks so gross. I hate it. But
Yes.
yeah, it just happened. I don't know why it happens. It really happens because there's like just something's off about your skin flora, and then you just get infected because the fungus and the bacteria, staph, like it's all
Mm-hmm.
around us. It's just when it's
Yes.
an actual infection, it just colonizes on your skin and it makes a really weird circle dye mark, and then you freak out about it, and then you got to tape it up. You got to stop training for maybe like a couple days for it to stop being so active. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I have. It's so gross, but yeah,
It's
I have.
I've gotten staph infection once, but it on my neck. So this is what
Uh,
happens.
okay.
So we heard there was a case of staph infection. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, cool. We'll just we'll be cautious.
Yeah.
Little did I know, before this staph infection, I actually cut myself shaving. A small little nick on my right here. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna heal. I was rolling, sweat, all that stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, that little thing spread all over my neck. I
Yeah.
couldn't do jujitsu for 3 weeks, maybe more than three
Yeah.
weeks. I couldn't shave because if I would shave it, I'll just re irritate it. I
Mhm.
couldn't even move my neck properly. I just let my hair grow, and my wife's like, "What's wrong with you? Look under my neck." It's like it was like this creature under my neck. Imagine me rolling like this, and like it was like I couldn't sleep. Every movement was like breaking. It was like disgust. I was so disgusted with myself.
Oh
But these
my
are like
God.
things we have to realize in jiu-jitsu. It's like besides the pain, there's a ton load of infections out there we can get.
Yeah, yeah,
Is there
yeah.
something?
Dude, cover up the cuts.
Put tape on my neck? Just walking with a.
Yeah, that good point. I don't know. What were you gonna ask?
Nope. I try to. I do tape myself on the fingers and toes, but I was gonna say this like that was pretty frustrating for me. But
Yeah.
there's something that's extremely frustrating for you in jujitsu. Something particular that really like pisses you off. Like I can't handle this part of jujitsu. There has to be something besides the pain, or maybe it is the pain.
Besides the pain, ooh, I'm thinking. To be honest, I'm not a person that gets pissed off by many things. Like, I have a pretty relaxed attitude when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
I am
Maybe,
too.
m-
How about
maybe
this? Go for it.
I was about to say, I was thinking off the top of my head, girls with really long acrylic nails.
Anyone with nails, any tigers that
Yeah,
walk in the mats, please stay
yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
had to
sometimes
explain
I
to my
forget to
wife.
like I forget to cut my nails, and then I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go quickly cut my nails before I come back to roll. Yeah, sometimes that person is me, but like when I see people purposely having long acrylic nails, and and it's something accidentally grazes against the skin, and I'm like, no, motherfucker.
Yeah, but the thing is, even like sometimes we have women at our gym, but I
Mhm.
see these women don't really have like nails. Like, they have their real nails. That's what I see.
Oh yeah.
It's mostly the guys. So whenever their nail is
Yeah.
too square or a sharp corner, and I take night courses. So when I go at home at
Mhm.
night, my wife's like, "What happened to your face?" I'm like, "There was a freaking Wolverine in her class today that like scratched me here, scratches me here." And she's like, "What do you guys do there exactly?" And the whole jujitsu thing with me was, she said, "Marco, I want you to be happy and do it, but don't get hurt." And every
Yeah.
night I'm like getting a scratch on my face, infections, all this stuff. That's what pissed me off the most. It's the nails.
The
People,
nails.
cut your goddamn nails. Just cut them, or just like make it semi smooth. Do something. I don't know. That frustrates me. But
Oh, another pet peeve is when
yeah,
me and my sparring partner for the day, like, and we're rolling, we're trying to work through things, and
hmm
there is a coach or an instructor who wants us to like pick up the pace. It's like, oh, like pass, Elim, you have to you have to pass the
oh
guard, put your knee here, and I'm like, I'm trying to work here. Like maybe you and your partner have established like the pace and like where you guys want to
yeah,
like keep it a little bit light and flowy, and then someone on the side is like telling you to like pick up the pace. I'm like, okay, fine. I wanted to do
yeah.
something fun, but fine.
Have it your way. I think I can
Yeah,
relate to
have
that.
it your
Actually,
way.
I think I can relate when there's that white belt or blue belt acting like a coach, and they're coaching you like me. Like you're
Hmm.
coaching me. I think
Yeah,
we're longer
yeah,
than you, but they
yeah.
have that in them. It's like they come for a few classes and they're already like, I'm UFC ready. I can kill anyone, and they're just like
I think
coaching you through the whole role.
yeah. Like I feel like people like all of us now, like we know like not to really do that. But for newcomers, they're probably just enthusiastic about the sport. So I kind of give them a pass.
Yeah,
And I'm like, we'll explain to them later. It's like, yeah, you don't need a coach like someone like they've been here longer. They got it down. It's fine. but like for someone who's just come into the sport and they want to share everything that they know, even though what they know is like a tiny pamphlet at the moment. But they're just happy to be there. They're just
Well,
enthusiastic.
speaking of enthusiastic new people, have you ever had, let's say, some walk-ins or some trial class people, and they go full crazy? I don't know what, Donkey Kong on everyone's ass. Like they just go full strength. They're trying to hurt anyone. Have you ever had that situation? Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, we're here to
Yes.
learn, not be retarded.
Yes, I am thinking about this one guy who came in. This is at my previous gym in
Hmm.
my city. So that gym was located on top of like a supplement store, but also next door to like an actual fitness gym. So
Hmm.
we have like people like from both sides coming in to try our jiu-jitsu gym because we've got deals. And we had someone from the fitness gym. It was like a Steve Nash, I think. He was like a pretty big dude. I think said he like had some MMA experience or anything or something. Like he came to our noon class and it was time to spar and he sparred one guy who was like a I think he was a either a fresh blue belt or like a developed white belt, and he went full strength on the dude, and I felt it was insane seeing, and he like gasped out after just 5 minutes. Like he didn't have any energy to do round two, and he just sat to the side while everyone else just kept sparring. And I was without a partner, and I asked him, say, "Oh, are you done? Like, would you like to go? Would you like a spar?"
Would you like
and,
some
and then
light
even with
rolling?
me, yeah, even with me, like I'm pretty sure he was not the type that would have gone like 100% on me. But even with me, he was like, "No, I'm too tired." And I'm like, "Well, then why just you go out? Why'd you flip out on the other guy then if you don't want more spars?" But no, but I think to him it was about winning the role and proving that like he could actually do jujitsu. I think that's
Yeah,
what was going on.
I think it's
he
the
was a
good old
bodybuilder.
fashioned. Oh well, there, that explains everything. Good old
Yeah,
bodybuilder.
I think he was a
The
bodybuilder.
what's that saying? I see red. So when
Yeah,
they
I
see
see
red,
red.
I got to
Bodies
kill.
start
And
dropping.
but I think I used to be like that too when I first started. In my
Really?
mind, it's like, well, I watch UFC. I should know a couple of things. I'm a pretty strong guy. And yeah, I was
That's
strong,
funny.
and holy crap, did I get murdered. But I
Yeah.
love those moments, even happening to me, because it was such an eye opener for me. But there's two types of people, right? There's like, oh my God, what happened? I'm going to continue because I want to learn this crazy magic stuff. Or
Hmm.
two, it's like, nah, just fuck this. And there's certain people that like got stuck in these arm triangles and they just like walk out, like they pass out and like, yeah, I'm leaving, and they just left the class kind of thing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
I've
really
heard
nice
those.
to see those people, because you know who's gonna stick around, kind of thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I've never seen
It.
that personally happen. Closest thing was the story I just told you. He never came
Mm.
back, by the way. He did that one class,
Oh
he never came back.
shucks. Oh shucks. Who
And like
would
he
have
didn't,
known?
it's not like he really beat up our white belt or fresh blue belt, whatever he was at the time. It's just that like he went full strength on him for no reason. It wasn't really about jujitsu for him. It was
Yeah.
about strength for sure.
Well, that's a joke too. Jujitsu, just use strength. And now I'm at
Mm.
a point in my life where I'm doing jujitsu and I have walk-ins and they're using strength. Like I'm just countering their strain. I'm like, okay, it's like a fishing. Okay, you're gonna get tired. I'm gonna
Mm.
get you now. Go, go. Oh,
Mm.
you're
Mm.
gassing.
Mm.
Oh, you're breathing hard now. And I just sweeped you. And now I'm taking over. And welcome to my
Yeah,
world. I love being in that part now because it's like I was there. I know what to do, and it's fun. I'm in the fun part now for walk-ins though.
that's awesome.
But yeah, but even now, like I'm learning more. That means, let's say, all the blue belts, purple belts, black belts, and brown belts are going to take it up a notch with me now. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like it's good. It's good news, because you have to improve your game. You can't just be at the same level all the time because you're not improving from
Mm-hmm.
there. But I am in a happy
Mm-hmm.
place right now where I feel like, oh, I could
Mm-hmm.
win some rounds now. This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
out
I've
of
never had that.
that feeling,
I've never. Sorry, what were you saying?
look, go on. You were gonna say something. You never had that what?
I've never had that feeling of going into a jiu-jitsu gym and being like, yeah, I know this shit. I got this shit down.
Must be a man thing,
Never had
honestly.
that happen. I think
Just
it might
being
be
on
a
my
man thing.
chest.
I
I think so
Yeah, I
too.
came into the gym and I was like, I hope I don't die today. I hope I
It's
don't
our
cry.
it's all our animal spirits. We're all like gorillas. We just like beat on our chest and like, okay, let's do this. I saw UFC. I saw like 20 minutes of YouTube. I can win, black belt or not. Then you see some black belts are like lighter than you, and then you get murdered from them. That's the best feeling
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Oh, that's so fun.
Uh,
I've gone to like watch UFC, like just at other people's like places just for fun as a social
mhm.
activity. And there sometimes be like people who would like commentate about what's happening
Oh
and with the
yes,
jujitsu and wrestling stuff. And I'm like, oh, do you train? And they're like, no, I just watch UFC. I'm like, oh, cool.
yes.
don't
They are the.
don't say anything else. Just
You
let them
must
have it. Let
engage.
them have it.
No, you have to engage one time. Oh, so you're a fight analyst, are you? Please explain me a
Yes.
rear naked choke and how
Please,
you would.
please enlighten me.
And you would just
Oh
like
yeah.
take your phone, record them, eat popcorn. Like, yeah, it's like National Geographic. Like you're watching this
Yeah.
crazy animal in the wild. It's kind of
One of my favorite things to do is when like straight dudes after watching UFC, like they'll start doing like their own kind of like a fight amongst themselves. Like they're just play wrestling with each other. And I think it's actually really cute to watch. Like
it's cute. Let
I
them.
know jujitsu guys do it, like right, like actual legit practitioners, like they want to like
Mhm.
spar each other a little bit, play around with some moves after a UFC night. But then like seeing like non-trained guys kind of play fight with each other, it's like, oh, they're playing. They
You
want to
just
play
go up
what
to
they
them.
just saw
Oh,
on the TV.
you guys are so cute, and go boop. You're so cute, aren't you adorable? And then they're like, oh, I would have done like a guillotine. I would have got up and stood up and just punched. Yeah, of course you would. Of course you would. It's so adorable. You aren't you special? But then the people
Mm.
who do train, it's
Mhm.
funny because now that I've trained jiu-jitsu and watching UFC, you see some of the potential attacks that could happen. Like, oh wait, he's got his foot under his. He might do a butterfly sweep on him in the UFC. Oh, he
Mhm.
might do that. Like you pre-see these potential attacks. Whereas
Mhm.
before, I never saw anything. I'm just looking for the punch or the kick kind of thing. But
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
find watching UFC. Do you have a better understanding like of how the fight is going now that you have some like knowledge of martial arts versus like a normal person?
Mhm.
Eh,
Yeah,
more or less.
no, I don't know. I still see like watching MMA, UFC. Like it's a completely different sport from jujitsu, right? I
Mm,
mainly just do jujitsu, so I want to keep myself humble. I don't want to pretend like I know everything
yeah.
in the world of MMA because I don't. So I really do like listening to the fight commentators and seeing what they're able to pick up and what they're analyzing because I find that pretty insightful for my own jujitsu.
Yeah, for sure.
Like just yeah, seeing what actual professionals are doing on the screens. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe yeah, let's take a look what they're actually trying to do in an MMA context. How jujitsu translates and how effective it is in actual MMA.
Hmm. There was a topic I want to talk about. Something I find
Mm.
that's very important since COVID, and that
Mm.
topic is mental health. Now,
Mm.
mental, I would say a fast story on mental health, not something that didn't happen to me, but a friend that I worked with. So, mental health since COVID for me was very hard because I lost a friend who took his own life. Ever since
Wow.
working from home, we lost that human connection, right? And he was going through tough times
Mm.
at home, and usually before this, we always talk to each other and like I'll just cheer him up. He'll cheer me up. And he, after 3.5 years not talking to people, this whole COVID, I find ruined a lot of communication skills with people. And he just took his own life. And
Mm.
I find like we all complain about certain things in our everyday life, but mental health is like one of the worst things. It's serious. It's a real thing. It's a real issue. Not so for
Yeah.
you. How do you find mental health is with jujitsu? Like, has it helped you throughout the years? Is it like your go-to, or is it made things worse? I don't know, kind of thing.
Man, I'm sorry about your friend. That's heavy, man, losing
It's
someone
I
over
still
mental
think
health, essentially.
I think about him. So when I hear certain songs, it's crazy. I
Yeah.
think about him. I tell my wife, man, Nick would have. He wasn't my best friend, but I've known him for almost 6 years, and he's not there.
Wow.
I still think, and sometimes at work we say his name still by mistake, and I want to talk like, oh, but Nick should have done this fix on the. It's like he's not here. It's so hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to like. So
man.
how's mental
It's
health?
so, I think, yeah, it's so impactful because I do struggle with my own mental health as well. Like there have been times where I've thought, like, my thoughts go to kind of like a dark place, and then I use humor to cope with it instead of
Yes.
seeing a therapist. But no, I
Hmm.
think most recently I just made a call like so that I could actually see someone professionally. I'm kind of in a season of jujitsu where I'm not super invested, but I know that going to jujitsu is going to help me. Like there's a
Yeah.
season in my life, there's always going to be seasons of my life that are going to be a little bit more sad and a little bit darker than the
Yeah.
others. But one of the main reasons I stuck with jujitsu is because it helps my mental health. Like like one of my counselors did tell me before, like it is there are a few fixes for like depression and anxiety. There's medication, there's therapy, and then there's exercise. But it is embarrassing how effective exercise is over what we do in psychology and what we do like in the medical world. Like exercise can trump medication and also therapy. That's how important it is. So it's that endorphin hit that you get when you're exercising, right? But the problem for me was that going to a regular fitness gym, it's so fucking boring. Why do I want to be there? I don't want to. I'm just picking heavy shit and putting them back down and running on a treadmill for like a few minutes just to work on my cardio. I find that triggering my flight or fight response on the mats when someone's trying to kill me actively, that really forces me to actually move and get my adrenaline rush and move. And then, everything feels okay afterwards. I'm like, oh, I survived what essentially could have been a bear attack. Good for me. I'm going to come back. And then, yeah, after making it a habit, I realized that jujitsu, when you commit to it, when you feel accomplished by the things that are happening, by the things that you're making happen, like it does such wonders for your mental health. I don't even know how to explain it, except that it's just mostly a chemical thing in your brain where you are getting an endorphin and also an adrenaline rush from it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that for sure, 100%. Also, at the same time, I have to share with you, I just pulled a muscle under my leg. So if you saw me twitch, I wanted to let you finish because I was about to scream, dear anything. I don't know. Have you ever pulled a muscle under your knee, close to your kneecap?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's
And I
going
just
really.
freeze. I don't say anything. I just give a few seconds and stretch it out.
I can't get up. If I get up, I'm going to the hospital right now. But
Oh
it's
my God.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna
Take it easy.
only
Okay.
this what happens when you guys go live. Yeah, anything could happen. But I wanted to tell you like about mental health, and before I start screaming to agony and pain, that yeah, we all go through crazy things in life. Like I know when I was younger, I was going through all the darkest places in the world, and for myself, like I use humor a lot as therapy. That's why I'm very
Hmm.
like I'm out there. I'll talk. I'll say whatever I want. Even if it's not like people are not laughing with me. They're laughing at me. They're laughing. I'm doing something positive. So I always use
Exactly.
humor as a medicine. And jujitsu was just like another type of medicine for me now. I can be funny and get killed and be strong all at the same time and make friends. Because that's something I didn't expect with jujitsu. It's like when people start jujitsu, the newbies are going to think everyone wants to kill everyone. They watch too many movies. It's the complete opposite of that. It's within time you create these like friendships. I know it's cliche to say family. No, it really is because you know people, you know them better when they roll. Like you're intimate with these people, friendships, family. Like
Yes.
it's like it's such.
It's a
I used to
support system.
it is a support system because when I used to go to jiu-jitsu, I was still suffering with anxiety and other issues, and I should be very scared and shy and nervous. But now
Hmm.
when I go, the like I get joy, other joys in life from my family, my son, my wife. I love them to death. But there's other things that you need. You need something outside of that for yourself. And when I go to jiu-jitsu, it's like the biggest high I get. I don't care what the hell we're learning tonight. We're starting from triangle choke. Let's do it. Cut my blood pressure. Cut me out. I don't care. I'm gonna get out of this situation. And that's what jiu-jitsu teaches me. It's to like, no matter how hard life can be, just as no matter how hard these positions can be, there's always going to be a way to get out. Anytime
Absolutely.
there's going to be a way out, and that's what jiu-jitsu is for me. It's a way out of all these mental health issues we have today's society. That's the
Yeah.
best way I can. I hope I didn't sound
Oh,
too much of Dr. Phil over there, but that's the best way I
no,
see
absolutely.
it.
Because like right in jujitsu, like there when you bow in front of your partner's going to
Hmm.
pose you a problem, or they're going to pose you a question that you have to solve. And I think there's like the problem solving aspect of jujitsu that I kind of enjoy and find
Hmm.
fun. When you actually are able to calm down and think about it. Usually
Yeah.
I'm anxious and I just freak out. But like in jujitsu, it teaches you to actually, there's a tangible problem in front of you. And like you lose sight of like the actual mental problems that are going on outside of that gym. And then you were able to focus on this one tangible problem in front of you. And for 1 hour, that's all you're focused on. And I love that camaraderie, especially because of COVID, right? We probably lost touch with some of our coworkers and our friends, and we
Hmm.
felt so disconnected. But with jujitsu, I find that a lot of jujitsu people, like most of their best friends and their close friends are just other jujitsu people. That is the
Oh, for
case for me.
sure.
My support system these days is just other jujitsu people mostly.
Oh,
And
for sure.
I that's so important, especially for men. Like I really think men's mental health is so important, and I think jujitsu is a really good conduit to improve that for them because like they need their brotherhood, they need their
Yeah.
camaraderie with each other.
Oh,
It's
for
so
sure.
important because like for women, like when we go through something hard, we have our girlfriends to go through. But guys, they don't always necessarily have that support system that we do.
We're
So I
tough.
think
We don't need
jujitsu,
anything.
right? No, you guys need each other, man. Like you guys need to talk it out like as bros and also but then also kill each other afterwards. I find that
It's
aspect of jiu-jitsu so fun where you guys can kill each other and then laugh about it and
oh, for
then
sure.
grab a beer afterwards.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
like
that for you guys.
I'm going to kill you, but now we do this, we're good now. But it's funny that you mentioned that because like one of my good buddies, Will, made me
Hmm.
start jujitsu. I was doing boxing
Hmm.
class with him, and he started jujitsu before me, probably like 4 or 5 classes before me. He's like, Marco, you have to try it. I'm like, I know, I see the people, but like my back and stuff. He's like, stop making the excuses. Start jujitsu. He helped me start jujitsu. The same guy who's like, Marco, you know what? With your social media that you're starting now, you should do a podcast. I'm like, what? No excuses. Just do it. He's that guy who's gonna always like push me. You always need that special someone in your life that's gonna push you a bit. So I
Oh
give a
yeah.
big
Yeah.
shout out to Will. I know you're listening, Will. He was my first episode actually. William
Oh,
Chung,
I love that.
I love you very much,
No,
brother.
so he
But
was the don't think just do guy.
he's the don't think just do guy, or shut up, stop being a bitch, Marco,
Go.
and go. I like that version
Just
better. Shut
go.
up, just go. And I think
Yeah.
that's through jiu-jitsu and the friendships and my mentality is changing as the months go on, as the years are go on. I have this
Mm.
idea of like go, no more excuses. But there are times that like we're normal, we're human, we're gonna question ourselves, we're gonna get scared again. Just like my belt exam that I have to do in a month, like I'm getting scared. But after today, talking to you, like whatever,
Well, are
Marco,
you
just go, do it. Who
are you
cares?
prepared? Well, what's on the test? Like, are you prepared for it?
On the exam sheet, like when I looked over the exam sheet today and all the
Yeah.
basic movements, I might forget some names. Like for me, I know what a shrimp
Okay.
is, but there's like power shrimp,
Okay.
forward shrimp. But I know a shrimp. I was reading the sheet, like, okay,
Yeah.
wait, I off the bat, I know more than let's say 50 to 60% of it, just by
Okay.
glancing at it. And just because I forget the names of them doesn't mean I don't know the technique. I'm a type of guy. If you show
Yeah.
me the technique, it's in my head and that's it. That's done. What's the name of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be called the flipping pineapple. I have no idea. but I'll know the technique. That's my problem. So I won't remember the name, but I'll remember the technique. So that's all I have to get over. But I know my techniques. I know how to execute them or escape. So whatever, Marco,
Just
just go.
yeah, just go over them once, just so you feel more assured in yourself and you feel less anxious when you've done the preparation for it. Like there's an element like of control for your anxiety,
Yeah.
or you feel like you know what, I did the work, I'm prepared, this is gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's and for me, it's like it's 2 years of me learning. You know, obviously you go through repetition, right? You go through. Let's say, okay, guys, it's
Mm,
rear naked choke this week. I'm sure we've done rear naked choke classes probably 20 times. De la Hiva 20 times.
yeah.
Triangle chokes 20. Like I've done this many times, so obviously I know it. I know how to set it up.
Hmm.
So why am I freaking out? Because there's a piece of paper in front of me. If this was me
Yeah.
today, if I got this sheet 2 years ago, I would have been in the fetal position crying for my dear life. Whereas now, I'm pouting now, but I'm gonna be over it probably in the next 20. I'm already over it actually. Like, I'm ready for the test. Let's say I'm good. I
Awesome.
just need to remember the
Awesome to
names. That's
hear.
it.
All right.
well, well, this was
Well, let's
fun.
hope like it, yeah. Let's hope you get past that bell testing fear, which it's gonna be fine. Like I've had like people in my gym be like, "Oh, I have this blue belt test, and like, can you help me prepare?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, but like, as long as you just ask your professor questions. If there's
Yeah,
something you don't, just ask. They'll appreciate it. Then you'll be prepared.
for
You'll be
sure.
fine."
Absolutely. Well, I want to end on saying thank you very much for today. I'm doing well. My muscle is still there. I still pulled my muscle. It's about to explode at any moment. So I'm still I haven't moved position yet. I'm not flexing my leg at all. I did a little bit like now it's gonna kill me. So I'm gonna end off with
Okay,
that. I want to say,
let's
Elim,
end off
thank you.
there.
I want to say thank you very much for joining on my podcast today. And
Thank you
maybe
so
in the
much for having
future,
me.
in the long future, you can come back on if you want. I had a fantastic time. I
Yeah,
found like we
me
have
too, me
so
too.
much more to talk about, but we'll end it off here
We just
today.
dipped into this, man. Yeah.
We barely
All right.
touched the surface. And I want to say a special thank you again to the good people at X Marshall for making us look so sexy today. And again for Higher Health for keeping me young. I'm 38, but I know I look 28. It must be the haircut. That doesn't lie. So thank you very much, guys. Elim, thank you so very much again today. I hope you have yourself a fantastic day, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you so much. We
Take
will.
care. Take care,
Bye.
guys. Us. Bye.